couple local elders, and I say local because we had the opportunity to get elders from different areas. So everybody knows, what lake do we live on? How many cultures do you think float around that lake? So we have the North Slavey, we have the South Slavey, we have the Chippewan, we have some Cree that run up the river. That connects into the Slave River, which connects into Great Slave Lake, right? And then we jump into Great Slave Lake and hit the Mackenzie River, and we go up there and we get into all different kinds of areas up there, right? The Gwich'in, the Inuit if you go far enough. My point is that we're all connected. So it's important when we can get elders from all different areas and bring them together, right? We have Sarah. I think everybody's familiar with Sarah Gargan. Sarah hails from Fort Providence.
We try to connect the students to the land and to the language and then to all the traditional ways of the Dene people. I'm going to say it in my language, and then I'll say it in English. Regardless what kind of activities they do outdoors, I know they're going to pick up one thing and they're going to take it home and they're going to remember it and they're going to say, oh yes, I remember this. And then that's how they pick up learning. The more they visualize things, they touch, they feel, they smell, they taste. And that's how they will gain in learning. My mother, she told us a lot of legend stories. Back in those days, I remember she'll have a little candle lit, she'll be sewing, and we'll be sitting around her with my little brothers and sisters, and she'll be telling us legends or stories, and I really enjoyed that. And she always told us, every time I tell you a legend story or like an old time story, she said you either put it in your pocket or put it in your heart, or you could toss it and forget about it. But I chose to keep it in my pocket, and that's why today I shared with the young people today.
For $169, you could have had a coyote skin.
It's a coyote?
Yeah. Which is, it's kind of neat because down south when you see a coyote, they don't look this thick, right?
Yeah.
So, does anyone know why coyotes don't take a foothold here like they do anywhere else? It's the same reason why deer don't take a foothold here. Cold, yeah, they could survive the cold. The cold wouldn't bother them.
More predators.
Exactly. Who's the main predator for these guys? A wolf.
Yeah.
And I've seen wolves just kill them for the sake of killing them. They just really dislike them. So, this is a beaver.
That's sheared beaver.
Exactly. And this is one that we harvested at the camp, and we tanned it the traditional way. So this was already, I made mitts out of this and sent it off, but we actually, it was kids like you guys that harvested this already. So, but if you look at it, you see how it has a nice guard hair on it? Underneath that guard hair is that. So I want you to take your gloves off, and I want you to feel the difference. So what that guard hair does is it protects this hair from getting tore out, and this hair is what keeps him warm. That's a down undercoat.
Is it waterproof too?
Yes. So I would use the choice of some kind of a fur for the outside, like a full beaver with the guard hair so that it keeps it protected. And then usually what I do is I make a liner out of the sheared beaver. So because, and it was an idea we had many, many years ago. My aunt used to own a store, but if you saw people with sheared beaver mitts all the time, they're all sitting there going like this, feeling their mitts. And I thought, well, if you want to feel them, why wouldn't you put them on the inside, right? So does anyone know why a bear goes to bed in the wintertime? So you guys see the down under hide on the beavers there.
Yeah.
Does a bear have a down undercoat?
No.
He doesn't. So how would he survive in the wintertime?
No way.
He wouldn't. It's it. So where did they go in the winter?
Sleep.
Thank you. That's the right word right there. Does a bear hibernate?
Yeah.
Nope. Not true. That's a myth. They don't hibernate. They sleep. Big difference. A hibernating animal, you could take him out of the den and you would be able to hold him in his hand, and he slowed his heart rate so slow that His metabolism is down. He requires very little food or energy to live. A bear actually has their babies in the den in January. So right now, they would have little bears in there that are like this big. They look like cats right now. But in the same respect, if you mess with a bear den in the wintertime, he's fully capable of being very, very dangerous, right? And here's a wolf hide. So I made a pair of mitts out of this. My daughter and I harvested 4 of these, and there was 2 brothers. And I took the hackles, which is the back part here, that really long, if you look on the coyote, the hackle is the long part. So if you look right here, the hackle is this long hair right here. See it? It's the only place that has it is on the middle of his neck. So we took I made a pair of mitts with 2 hackles for her. Now, this was, like I said, a traditional tanned hide. So this will last forever, the same as those were. The difference is there was no chemicals involved in this, right? You don't use chemicals to tan them. So we use brain matter. So basically it's like something that just keeps it, and then it's a softening process afterwards, and then we smoke it. So we put some smoke on it, and it repels everything, and it keeps it waterproof. We have Catherine Boucher here today. She's from Port Resolution.
My language is called Denedetline. Okay? They call it Chippewan.
Thank you.
Some of them call it Denedsusline. But I call it Denedetline. Then you got your and That's your vowels. That's for all the Aboriginal vowels. If you learn that, you could read Slavey, you could read Cree, you could read Inuktitut, you could read Spanish, French, Michif, all those languages you could read if you learn these vowels.
So I make all the mitts around my house now.
You should get an 11 Pro Max. This way.
It's always got to be an odd number, okay?
I didn't even find my needle.
You can't have them around here. Then I'll show you what to do after that.
Alright, this afternoon we're going to have Kathleen Grunewagen, who comes from forestry.
Most of the time, each ring represents a whole year. Sometimes you'll have it where you have a warm fall and you'll have what's a false ring. You can see that sometimes. Most of the time it's just one ring. You guys decide this tree is?
Around late 60s or early 70s.
Okay. Now how about this one?
Tyler? Oh, I counted 130.
Okay, 130, that's good. And let's talk about the rings. Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw?
Sorry. In the first 20, 30 years it grew a lot, but then as it kept going it got smaller, then there was one bigger spot.
But the older you get, the tinier the rings are. And that's because that tree, say your tree is like this now, 130 years old, to actually fill in that amount of space every year takes way more energy than growing a little tiny circumference, right? Okay, so these 2 trees are from the Hay River area. They're like 70, 130 years old. They're pretty big, right? This one is the same species. So this is also a spruce tree, a white spruce. And this is from Inuvik. So we heard earlier that we thought Inuvik trees might be a little bit smaller because it's colder up there.
Can I feel it?
Yeah.
That's nice and smooth.
Yeah. Okay. It's 270 years old. Yeah.
So it's older than this thing?
Way older. It's almost 3 times as old as that one.
This is for someone that's going to has nothing to use, and basically anything that you find on the land you can develop a trap out of it, right? So that's what we're going to do. It's called the Deadfall Trap. So the idea is to make the easiest place into this set through the trap. But if it's too tight, is he going to want to go in there?
No.
So you want to make sure that it doesn't look big and scary and it still has a natural look. But you want to make sure that you can still get him to go in. Now this has to be a free falling path, right? We can't obstruct the fall there. Okay, so we want to make sure we don't block our path there, right? So go ahead, keep blocking the holes. Exactly. Not in the front, nope, because this is his entry, right? Oh, this is where he's going in, right here. That looks really good, guys. That actually looks good. So step back here and have a look at it. Where's the easiest way to get into that pen right now?
Back.
Good. So imagine your bait on the end of that stick. Now, what do we need to do?
Cover it to the back.
We need some weight. So let's put some weight on there. And you're going to set it on there nice and gently because you don't want to set off that trigger, right? And you set it on.
Okay, boys, go on over and fix it.
There you go. Yeah, that's super frustrating, guys. We'll adjust it after. Get your weight on there, guys. Yep, nice and easy, right? Real gentle. You don't want to set it all off. Slide it up. So the bottom is flush with the other ones.
Well done, guys.
So let's think about this now from a standpoint of an animal that comes along. What makes this not scary enough? A, there's no conventional materials in there, right? So B, in the reality of their world, is it possible that a tree would fall in the forest and kill an animal and maybe provide a free meal? Is that reasonable? So in his mind, to come and find a piece of meat under a pile of logs where an animal has either starved to death or was crushed by a falling tree or another animal killed it and is waiting to come back later, is that reasonable in their mind?
Yes.
It is. Then all of a sudden he's going to grab a hold of this, or else he's going to step on it by accident, and that's what ends up happening.
That looks yummy.
Insanely sweet. It's delicious. It's really good, actually.
What are you putting on the snow?
Boiled maple syrup. These guys been cooking for a good 45 minutes, I think. You're looking for the bubbles to go really slow. And then once they go really slow, then you just test it out. And if it sticks together on the snow, then it's ready.
This is going to be great on video, Mr. Gargan.
It's just so beautiful.